Okay, hopefully that works. Jeez Louise. You can't imagine the trouble I went through to get this started. It should have started, well, now 40 minutes ago. Oh my God. It's a long winded story, but all this just to talk about 4 comic books. All right. Well, that's what we're going to do. And so here we go. We'll start with Green Lantern. And I got my OBS corner here. So when I switch back to it, if there's any super tips, I'll be able to display them on the full screen then. But, anyway, enough of that. Time to get to the comic book. So keeping on with Green Lantern, primarily because I'm impressed with the writer, Jeremy Adams. He does a pretty good job. Probably his Flash Gordon is a better title over at Mad Cave. I don't know how some of these small publishers will do with the upheaval for Diamond distributors. DC and Marvel will be fine on that end, but these smaller ones, they'll have to figure that out. Jeremy Adams' Flash Gordon series is pretty good. But over at DC, he was doing the Flash, and that was pretty good. And then he moved on to Green Lantern and cleaned it up. It's very basic in a lot of ways, and that works in its favor. And just this basic Green Lantern adventure series needs to center more on Hal Jordan. I mean, pick one. They have a Green Lantern Corps spinoff series. I'm not too excited about that one. Whereas here, Green Lantern Corps, they probably should have combined the two with his backup stories. And that worked fine when they had John Stewart in his initial run. And then they could probably switch it out. They wanted in Kyle Rayner. And it's all right, but there's so many things going on of having to mop up and fix the Green Lantern, I guess, universe, if you will. Well, it's taken a while. So anyway, here we go. Of course, it's okay for him and Carol Ferris to be together. They're meant to be and all that stuff. And she's got the Star Sapphire powers. But boy, she really just jumped into it, Seems like they would have given it a little more time. But now she's a Justice League member and all this stuff to just jump into superpowers. Now, look, don't get me wrong. She looks great in the suit. It's nice. But anyway, so rather than just dating, they go and capture criminals and stuff. And he's checking her out. Obviously, he's like, nice. Your constructs are getting so much more detailed, Sapphire. Detail. Though hitting him with a whole car seems a bit much. These criminals who decided to make their prison uniforms their outfits, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, thanks. I only have like 5 really good constructs that are my go-tos right now. I'm not sure how you guys make so many different ones at the drop of a hat. 5? When I started, I was lucky to do more than 2, but still. You sure nothing else is going on? Oh, boy. Well. Yeah, I'm going to say something, and I know you're going to lord it over me, but I owe you an apology. Go on. See, it's rare when she admits she was wrong, that kind of thing. I don't think I really understood before when you would go off and save the universe. I'd just be upset that you wouldn't prioritize me. But now, being with the Justice League, I get it. It's a sacrifice. A good sacrifice. Could you just send us to jail already? Say they don't want to hear all this. But Hal does, because, it's his girlfriend. I wish I could lord it over you. I really do. But heaven knows I've made my share of mistakes. The truth is, being a hero is hard. Being a hero in a relationship is even harder. But with you, it's all worth it. Well, isn't that nice? Come on, Nort is headed back to Oa with this source material, so I can be down here for a bit until the lanterns are done. How about we drop these guys off at Coast City Prison and then grab a bite to eat in Shanghai? Sure, that sounds fun. Maybe we can talk about what other things I'm right about. So you want a car construct to smash into you? Is that what you're saying? Just a lunch then. Giggle, tee, hey, giggle, and all that. Aren't they cute? So anyway, we jump into deep space. If you saw the brief animated Green Lantern series, you might recognize this ship. And this becomes significant by the end of this issue as well. So a little hint to how it concludes. But anyway, so you are still a white lantern? At one point, he was the white lantern. Yes, ish. But I have to use willpower to keep all those emotions in check. And if you don't, massive power output, potentially dangerous. This is Dan Garrett, the original Blue Beetle. Now he's Silver Scarab. They found him in space. I guess he survived Paco Allen after all and all that. If you know the story, you do. Anyway, Kyle's White Lantern abilities have been in flux since Green Lantern Civil War. So there you go. And then one of the Superboys who's along for the ride, this be the Connor Kent version, says, I could take you. Could he? Could he take you? No, I'm kids. Did he just call us kids? I think we've arrived at our destination. What makes you think that? Because it's a big Green Lantern symbol on it. And it's this old, forgotten space station. I don't know. Call it a hunch. Oh, Dan. So anyway, any control yet? Nope. Still on autopilot. What is that thing? No idea. Obviously some sort of own design, but we're so far out in space. Who knows what we're dealing with? Well, you probably would not know it. Look, a door. So whatever it is, it wants us to go that way. So we are obviously not going to do that, right? Right? Amateurs. She's supposed to be like this girl from the future. I guess she's probably going to end up being Kyle's girlfriend for the moment, that kind of thing. I guess she's also supposed to be a space age Harley Quinn type, but it works out all right. But for the most part, there you go. Oh no, the mysterious space station. What's in it? Well, bad things. Oh yeah. And but then something surprising and I guess good. I mean, it was in the cartoon show, so they're gonna incorporate all that into the lore of Green Lantern. Meanwhile, what about Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris? Well, they run into something. It's bad, but they figure it out, because they're superheroes and all that goody gumdrop stuff. So that's nice, wouldn't you think? Yeah, all right. Probably not the best example, but it's probably one of their better titles and all that. We'll see how it goes. Swift -1 reminds us that the person who is turquoise waves. That's right. Angel Guzman. Good morning, good sir. Well, good morning to you, Angel. A. Thompson, audio good. A. Thompson, video good. Thank God. I would have been so embarrassed if it wasn't. A. Thompson, Doug controls the horizontal and the vertical. Barely. This really isn't quite how I intended, but it'll do. Yeah, it'll do. All right, let's see if I can move this along and make sure I don't make the same dumb mistake from last time. So I guess put that there for the time being. And come on. Look for the next one, the next issue, and jump back here to put on presentation. And now we move on to Absolute Superman. So if you recall when I did my Absolute Superman overview, catching up with the series, well, he ended up in the hands of the Omega Men. And the way the setup is, it stands to reason that he would join that team. He has similar interest, and he comes from the oppression of Krypton, and now he sees nothing but oppression here on Earth, or there on Earth, under the Lazarus Corporation. So, and yet, well, still has the best art of the Absolute Universe. So, we'll take a look. So, oh boy, he was badly damaged because they figured out, Brainiac figured out, hey, if you make bullets out of kryptonite, then you can hurt Superman. And did. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. Oh my, maybe a fourth one. I don't know. A lot of bullets in Superman's chest. So they managed to get him, and they want to try to save him because they see him as their only hope against their wall with Lazarus Corporation. So multiple entry wounds. Suction. Needs suction right now. Forceps. So he's bleeding all over the place, and there's blood in the way as they try to get the bullets out. Pulse is thready. BP dropping. We need to do a thoracotomy. Where's the rib spreader? Forget it. Even in this state, we couldn't spread his ribs with a tow truck. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. Anesthesia has no effect now. Yeah, no. He's feeling everything I've got it. Retrieving now. Oh, so there you go. See? 6 years ago, my homeworld tried to kill me. Through a miracle, I survived. Well, a spaceship, but anyway. Now it's trying again. Georg! So he's got all this kryptonite inside him, poisoning him and stuff. So he screams horrifically, because the guy is pulling the bullet out. And, oh boy, it really hurts. So the sonic blast from his voice screaming, you can see what it did to their operating room. It just destroyed all of it. See, it looks fine here. And then, oh my goodness, all that. So, holy hell, what did you say? Yeah, they're probably mostly hard of hearing now. I mean, they were wearing those helmets, so that might have given them some protection. But yeah, they're all going to need hearing aids after this. Anyway, 1 down, 2 to go. Radioactive slivers of my home planet forged into bullets, tearing me apart from the inside. Krypton. It's the gift that keeps on killing. I don't know if this guy was already deaf. I don't know. But anyway, seems to be unfazed by what just happened. Anywho, going back in for the other bullet. Oh, God, this bullet's unstable. It can't hold its form. If we don't get those others out now, we don't get them out at all. They're wedged between the ribs, near the lungs. Where's the ultrasound? Every piece of equipment in this room was just blown to smithereens. We can't see anything in there. I can. Give me the clamps. I'll do it myself. All agents activate maximum ear protection. So once again, he's, sonic blast, bursting eardrums and everything. Veins pumping lava, mouth full of ash, screams from inside my own innards. Billions upon billions. Krypton is dying all over again. In me. Okay. Don't think I can do that again without passing out. So, systems rebooting, Cal. I'm sorry. Systems rebooting. It's all right, Superman. You're not alone. Yeah, this chick's moving in on Lois's boy here, Oh, that's not going to go well. Anyway, they're going to get the bullets out. Bring the box. Huh? Is that appropriate? I don't promise you can't, other than triggering the booms. We've barely begun to understand what it can do it or he dies. I hear mother's voice from far away. Smell father coming from home from work, swirling with the dust of the mine. Dog, you mean Crypto, wants me to chase him through the purple fields. Hey, stay with me. We have something here that can help you, though it may feel strange. Now, you better keep those around your ears, because, Anyway, just keep your eyes on me, all right? Omega will provide. Triggering the machine, stand back. Wait, what? Hey, nice. If I die, the last vestige of my home dies with me. That's what this bullet is trying to kill. So I fight to do what I failed to do before. Yeah. Oh no! I fight to save Krypton, and this time I do not fight alone. Oh! So it's really loud, and if they're not deaf by now, they probably will soon be, unless they got the earplugs and all that. But what does this look like? Oh, it's the box. What kind of box? Well, if you know your new gods, you recognize that. Mother box, or, well, it is doing the ping, ping, ping. That's what they do. Oh, boy. So why are they called the Omega Men? Well, they got those Omega Men symbols on their helmets and all that. But, gee, I wonder who the new god influence could be. Well, we know that supposedly the death of Darkseid created this universe, So, hey, something's going on here. Are they going to be convinced that Darkseid is, the one true God, and they think he's some kind of savior and all that? And oh boy, are they in for a rude awakening. But, that's for a later time. Is Superman saved in this? Yes, he is. So I'll spoil that. And, it would make sense given the setup and how they've presented this version of Superman that the Omega Men would be the type of guys he'd hook up with. And yet, gee, he finds fault with them and has a problem with, which ordinarily, certainly, the normal Superman definitely would. He would have a lot of problems with what they're doing. But not this one. And he doesn't have the upbringing in Smallville and all that, even though he briefly visited the place. It doesn't count. The core that makes the character here, if he ends up being the same, you're not really showing the development of the character to where he has the same moral structure and values of the regular Superman. And unless you put him through some sort of trial and error storyline where he grows into that guy. But for the most part here, he's going to be a lot more rough. And yet there are elements here where he's already there. And so it continues to be rather light narratively. There's a few moments here and there, like I said previously, that, the Brainiac issue, just for the horror element of it, was actually a pretty good issue. But for the most part, Absolute Superman just isn't all that. Art-wise, it's probably the best of the Absolute line, but should have tried a little harder. And if you're going to do this weird, dark version of Superman, okay, but you're kind of jumping ahead here and there. It seems like, a bit of a stumble, I would think. But, we'll see how that goes. So next up will be, I another alternate take of DC characters, which is basically all Absolute is. It's just an ongoing series, and they just decided to call it, Absolute instead of, I don't know, Elseworlds Comics or something. So this one I like, just the stylings of it and everything, and it's I don't really care to keep going into this iteration of Batman. Now it's the other characters. There have been other takes of this era, and I don't know why they just don't go ahead and say that's what this is, but I don't know why it didn't say it, that it was the Gotham by Gaslight universe, if you will, but they didn't. So there's other versions of this sort of thing that for whatever reason didn't come together. But slowly but surely, this has been a pretty cool narrative. It's fun. They're doing this Age of Krypton thing. So now they've moved on where the formation of the Justice League in this world is beginning, and all that. And so we'll see how that unfolds. But a lot of it owes to a lot of the narratives that was in the Doom that came to Gotham. That there's some terrible thing afoot, and they have to be ready to defend it and all that. But it also takes into the idea of myths of, a great civilization that once existed and no longer does, but somewhere the ruins and everything of it. Of course, it's all true here, and then there's, the Amazons and everything. So it's cool. It's interesting. And for the most part, fairly well done. So when last we visited with them, they are coming together, and they met Superman, and they're still meeting him. Meanwhile, back to the similarities to the Doom that came to Gotham, we have these guys who encountered Princess Diana, and this time she comes from the subterranean world that in the old Warlord comics they had, and all that, and she's on a mission and all that sort of stuff. So this poor guy is stuck on the ship trying to get home. Will he? I don't know. Anyway, I know not the day nor the hour. Our vessel is by tempest tossed, and darker forces yet, I fear, encroach upon my consciousness. I must atone. Men died under my command. The survivors I abandoned. And for what? I walked with a demigod, and then she was gone. Miracles I witnessed, yet who would believe me? I have no proof. They will call me mad. So be it. My name is Adam Strange. Let this be my confession. So here you go. You've got this, otherworldly version of Adam Strange. I don't know if he's going to be transported to another world like he is in the regular comics, but he's already seeing some weird crap, Even as a professor of archaeology, my belief in a lost age of prehistoric civilization, the fabled Kryptonian age, had brought me naught but ridicule. That is until you, Mr. Wayne, confided in me certain suspicions of your own. See, this would, if they could connect it to Doom that came to Gotham, it would be kind of like, oh yeah, I encountered something of that nature, So anyway, there's Adam Strange saying, "Hi, Mr. Wayne." "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne." Little does he know that he's Batman. So there's Batman earlier fighting the League of Shadows in the previous series and all that. So I shall admit, at first entirely skeptical of your claim that numerous Kryptonian relics had been stolen, their possessors murdered by agents of some latter-day shadow cult. Yeah, but it was all true. The notorious industrialist Lex Luthor had entertained similarly outlandish notions of his own, having for decades sought in vain some trace of long-lost Krypton in the American heartland. Such relics were claimed to exhibit an otherworldly luminosity. Yeah, they did. though the fact that they only began to exhibit this wondrous property in the year of our Lord 1860 led me to dismiss such claims as mere charlatanry, peddled by hucksters and snake oil salesmen of the very lowest sort. Oh, great. Hang on, I gotta deal with that. All right. What a mess. Jeez, you just never know. I guess. Well, I should have known. I apologize. So there we go. And, it's just a basic catch up from the previous series. Alan Scott stumbled into the Green Lantern ring. I don't know if they'll explain how that got mingled in with Kryptonian technology and whatnot. But then, back in those days, there was probably a Green Lantern. So anyway, I was wrong. I confess it. Something came to Earth in 1860, or perhaps returned to Earth, that triggered the cycle of prophecy in which we find ourselves now enmeshed. I don't know. It looks like a spaceship, and there's Kal-El, and Jonathan and Martha Kent, and well, they raised him on the farm. So here comes Wonder Woman. Yeah. Thus Diana, warrior maiden of lost Themyscira, that noble race of Amazons who in the aeons past sought refuge deep beneath the earth, ventured forth unto our surface world to forestall this prophecy of doom before she disappeared from this very ship, leaving me with naught but fond memories, slim hope, and a grim foreboding. So there you go. You're all set up. And they have a big battle. They get to know each other, and you can see the leagues forming. They don't all get along all that well, as is typical with these stories. But, they'll come around, and then by the end, Lex Luthor makes his move. So, and it's kind of a steampunk take on the Justice League and that sort of thing. And it's cool because even with some of the elements of DC doing better, certainly than Marvel, the out of continuity details are where it's at. That tends to be the case. So, going to be checking this one out. Just, if nothing else, the aesthetic's cool. All right. And finally, speaking of Marvel unable to get its act together, well, I thought I'd check back in with the Incredible Hulk. And, well, look, I tried, I mean, that's, well, it's something. Yeah, That's all I could do, really. The problem is it's pretty much the same thing. Here they have an artist that's adequate. It's not the original artist they had, but still continuing on this horror notion. The mother of horrors is still pursuing them. I've missed a couple of issues, so now at issue 26, they're still doing this. The put together of the Hulk looking after this girl, and she wants powers. She has gotten them, but at a terrible price, and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know. And just more of this thing. Here we are, this hellacious scene. Not enough. You weaklings are not enough. This door will be opened. If none of you have the strength, I will find one who does. So apparently, the eldest wants the Hulk. Still, same thing. The same story. So here he is living out in the woods, camping with Charlie. I guess this is a new form she's achieved. I don't know, but it's with a different artist. It's hard to tell. Anyway, hey, look, first time, and the deer trusts the girl, The animals aren't scared of us anymore. They run from the normies, but not from us. Don't you think that's cool? Ooh. Well, I think that's cool. I don't feel like a monster out here at all. But she is now because of the power she wanted and all that. So, yeah. Anyway, we just weren't in the right place before. Hulk's like, and he just walks off, he just doesn't really care about the deer or nothing, What's his problem, Hulk buddy? What do you think he sees when he gets like that? So she's talking to her little doll. Yeah, she's got problems. Her, Hulk, Hulk, her. Well, that's not very helpful. Okay, well, that's too bad. And he's like, even Hulk knows, oh boy, she's a head case. This door will be opened. So Eldest is still chasing after Hulk. If none of you have the strength, just repeating all that. He doesn't want it. Boy, he's really showing Hulk does crack, doesn't he? So anyway, this bird's spying on him, I suppose. Anyway, he becomes aware that somebody's also spying on him. We don't have to do this. It's Winter Soldier. I just came to talk. If none of you have the strength, I will find one who does. Yeah, okay, I got it already. You're with her. Her? Hulk, don't. Well, that's it. The cover makes a big deal about Winter Soldier's appearance, and there it is. And not much comes about it. This is kind of I don't know, in the middle of things. If you just... By now, they should have had the confrontation with this eldest creature and then move on to other stories. I mean, I don't mind the horror angle, but could you do something else with it? Maybe like horror takes on some of his classic villains and that sort of thing. I mean, it's just pretty much kind of a lot of the same. So I don't know. Given the time and whatnot, I suppose I could look at some of the issues I missed. I don't think that'll help, though, but it's interesting that I've missed a couple. I come in here, and did I really miss anything? I skipped here and there. I saw that they explained where Charlie got her powers and all this stuff. And then you're good. They're still doing the same thing. The creepy mother of monsters or whatever is after him. So, well, good luck. But with Marvel, there's not a lot there. People still praise Ultimate Spider-Man. I got bored and dropped out. Saw a good review of the latest Moon Knight. I don't know. I might check, but I kind of got bummed out on that. And then there's Incredible Hulk, which... it's probably their best at the moment. So, pretty piss poor, especially in comparison to what DC's done lately. None of them hold a candle to the independents like Conan, Ghost Machine, and Mark Millar, of course. So there we are. Nothing really changed here. But, hey, look, I tried. I took a look at it and was kind of just... So that's that. Now I'll check up here over the super tips, and there aren't any. But still, let me go ahead and test just to see what it looks like.
Attempted sex. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted sex, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted sex, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted sex, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted sex, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted.
It didn't show up at all. It's supposed to. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, wait. Maybe it didn't. Let me see. All right. But I did hear it, though. All right.
Attempted sex, you miss a.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, what did I do wrong here? That's interesting. It should be there. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I know. That's what I did wrong. All right. I'll put it kind of in the middle here. Ta-da. That's the deal. That's, oh. See? That's how it's supposed to show. Now, let's see if it can be heard.
100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted sex, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Attempted sex, you miss 100% of the.
There we go. I don't know why it repeats like that, but anyway, there. All right. So, all right, a bit clumsy, but this is the way to make it work through the Rumble Studio thing. Trying to earn points on that too. Jeez, man, it's going to take a lot. But basically, the plan is to go back and forth. So the next live stream I do will be through EV Mux, which so far has been behaving and is an easier one to do, to use super tips on. So that's cool. All right, that's all the time I've got. I didn't quite get the hour in, so that's disturbing. But it took so damn long just to get started, and that's a problem. But I'm running out of time. I got to go get my nappy poo so that I'll be somewhat rested and able to get up extra early for the Doomcock show. Jeez. That's really early for me, Jeez Louise. Well, what are we going to talk about? I guess, the review of Fantastic Four. Everybody on the panel who's seen it, we'll talk about it. And I think he wants to talk about this thing on Strange New Worlds. They're going to turn everybody into puppets for an episode. They probably think it's really hilarious and all that stuff. Because they already did the musical episode, so they're probably thinking, hey, this will be cool. And you already saw the imagery of Captain Pike as a puppet, and they probably think, that's silly. So I guess that'll get discussed. I'm probably the only one on the panel who's seen the latest episodes that they've done. Oh, geez, I still got to do the stupid review of the latest one they did. All right, let me go tape that and dump that out on the floor of my channel. And then I think the movie they're going to review is Rocky 3 because of the sad passing of Hulk Hogan. But there was something else he wanted to talk about. But tune in and find out. So that'll be the deal later tonight. I'll be on Doomcock's Pop Culture Breakdown. So we'll be doing that. And then hopefully I can be able to squeeze in a 20 to 30 minute nap and then join Pat Dixon's live stream on P. Dixon on his channel. So Angel Guzman, see you tonight at Dooms. I'll be there. That is the idea. Audio in and out every 5 minutes, very briefly, but you're all good. Damn it, I wonder what that's about, it's always something. But anyway, thanks for letting me know. And I apologize for the technical difficulties. So anyway, there we are. That's Wednesday Comics, just the four. And I don't know. I'll read something else later. I guarantee you. Well, next week. For Sunday, well, I guess it'll be another superhero one. I did horror. Last week was science fiction, technically. I mean, it was Atomic War. So I read that one. So I don't know. I'll find something to do. I've been reading most of the publications from Ace Comics, so I just kind of stuck with that. I was always jumping around, but I just stuck with it just to make it easy on myself, I guess. And I don't even remember what superhero titles they have. I'll look at it and see if there's one to pick. If not, I'll jump ahead, But yeah, that's what you got to look forward to. Might do a Nailsin ratings live show sometime. If not tonight, perhaps Thursday night. I'm not certain. If I can squeeze in another Nailsin news show, I'll do that. But I don't know that I can. Anywho, and I've already, I think the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast, which should go out Saturday, I think I'll just do a double feature of my audio plays. I've got an episode of Bubba Stargone and the Uranus Patrol, followed by Sun King. Oh boy, that'll be a lot of fun, won't it? I would think so. And so we'll do that. Oh, crap, I forgot. I'm always forgetting. I'm supposed to, be interested in, my stuff. So let me go ahead and put the link in the chat of the indie plan. Oh, man, I didn't even do the stupid super tip thing right. I'm an idiot. Oh, yeah. So anyway, there it is. indieplanet.com/Douglas-Nelson. And you can check out the comic books produced by yours truly. It's a little late for super tip now, but I guess I could put it in here. See, that's what it was supposed to do. But I didn't do it right. Damn. I feel embarrassed now. So, whatever. Besides, like I said, I got to go to bed, try to rest for the Doomcock show. Yeah. All right. Visit with you guys again soon. Have a good rest of your day.